would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Item number 3, establishment of quorum.
Here.
Cesar Nevares.
Here.
Ralph Duran.
Here.
Mayor Elia Garcia.
Here.
Victor Perez is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum. Public comment. Miriam Cruz. Ms. Cruz, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Navarro. Two things, hopefully just two things. One, I want to thank City Council for their service. But I definitely want to thank city staff for their continued responsiveness to their constituents, not only to myself, but I know to others. So I thought I'd give you guys a big pat on the back, because I think that's nice to hear from time to time, even though none of the city council members are looking at me. But anyway, and the second thing is I just want to mention is the speeding is still going on in Stockyard. There was an email that was sent out. There was an issue with the speed radar, but I'm hoping that that can be resolved in the next few days. But just so the city council knows, the radar seems to have been put at 35 miles per hour instead of 25, which is the posted speed limit. So I hope that's something that will be addressed. Thank you.
Mayor, for the record, Mr. Perez arrived to the meeting at 6:02.
Are there any other speakers?
Eva Rojas. Ms. Rojas, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Once again, I'm here for the zoning of properties located on Gateway Boulevard West off the Clinton exit, which is 16143, 16133, 16106, and this is for the zoning to make it a commercial property for a trucking business. Thank you.
Mayor, and those were all our speakers.
Moving on to consent agenda, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Rene Rodriguez.
Aye.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Ralph Duran.
Yes.
Victor Perez.
Aye.
And Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 6, public hearing of an ordinance adopting a budget for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2019 and ending on September 30th, 2020. 6:03, public hearing is now open. Public hearing is now closed. Item number 7, second reading and adoption of an ordinance adopting a budget for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2019 and ending on September 30th, 2020.
Mayor, I passed out to council some proposed motion language, and just FYI, it's not for item 6, it's for item 9.
Just FYI, I'm sorry.
I passed out a motion to each member of council, but just the text that a proposed motion if council is inclined to pass an item, and I should have made clear it's for item 9, not item 6 through 8.
Item 9, okay.
So Jim, I'm lost. This one is for the one we're at right now.
For,
Oh,
and right now we're on number 7. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Rene Rodriguez,
Aye.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ralph Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 8, discussion and action to ratify the tax increase set forth in ordinance adopting a budget for the city of Socorro.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Rene Rodriguez,
Aye.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ralph Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 9, public hearing of an ordinance authorizing the assessment and collection of property taxes within the city of Socorro, Texas, and further authorizing the El Paso City Tax Office to perform the actual assessment and collection of said property taxes on behalf of the city of Socorro, Texas, for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2019, and ending on September 30th, 2020.
And as I said a moment ago, I passed that as for item 10, not item
606, public hearing is now open.
He was joking.
I didn't get to see the backup, if this answers my question, but my laptop's not working. Could you tell me if there is a fee that we're having to pay to the tax assessor, tax office, for doing these services? I would like that information. Thank you.
Public hearing is now closed. Item number 10, second reading and adoption of an ordinance authorizing the assessment and collection of property taxes within the city of Socorro, Texas, and further authorizing the El Paso City Tax Office to perform the actual assessment and collection of said property taxes on behalf of the city of Socorro, Texas, for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2019, and ending on September 30th, 2020.
Make a motion to approve, and I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.837502 per $100, which is effectively a 11.95% increase in the tax rate.
Second.
Mayor, we have a speaker for this item, Ms. Cruz.
I would just like my question answered. Thanks.
Mr. Rodriguez?
I know nobody likes to hear that their taxes are gonna be increased, but one of the things that we've done in the past is that we've been going and effectively looking for ways to bring a lot of projects to the city. This is one of the ways that we need to get revenue in order to continue going out for grants, for sidewalks, for streets, for lights, for all of the vehicles that our police department needs, all of the radios that our police department needs. Every single thing that we've done so far is because we have had to use our money. And unfortunately, it's one of those times that this is the last opportunity that we're gonna be able to do to continue to move the city forward and try to make these other projects come to fruition. So with that, that's why we're doing it. I don't want people to say that, oh, we're just raising your taxes just because. We're raising your taxes because we wanna continue building infrastructure and continue.
Mr. Perez?
And we still remain one of the lowest taxing entities.
Yes.
If ever you see your tax bill, it's, you see Socorro, I bet you anything it's Socorro ISD when you see your tax rates being as high as they are.
That's correct.
Ms. Mayor.
Ms. Villalobos?
And just for, I had a conversation just a few hours ago over this tax rate thing. A constituent called me. And just FYI, if, let's say your house is worth about $150, you're looking at about $126 a year, divided by 12 months. So they were arguing over the fact that it was going to be 1,250. No, it's not. They weren't moving the decimal over. So, yeah, we had a huge argument. So that's what it means, and it would help the city accomplish so many other projects that we have for the city. And we're constantly being asked, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? well, we can accomplish a little bit more with increasing our taxes just a little bit more. Believe me, all of us live here. We don't want to pay more, but we know the necessity.
Rene Rodriguez,
Aye.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ralph Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
Iván Colombia López.
Yes.
Item number 11, public hearing on an ordinance of the City of Socorro, Texas, adopting the amended organizational chart for the City of Socorro, Texas.
Motion to, oh, excuse me.
6:10, public hearing is now open.
Not sure.
6:11, public hearing is now closed. Item number 12, second reading and adoption of an ordinance of the City of Socorro, Texas, adopting the amended organizational chart for the City of Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The organizational chart in front of you just indicates how the operation of the city goes and based on the chain of command. So if you notice, the residents are at the top, then we have Mayor and Council, then we have the city manager, municipal judge, city attorney, and everyone under that. All the changes that have occurred with the corporal positions and the added of 2 sergeants, all of that is reflected in this chart. So the things that we went ahead and added was the parks, the Parks and Public Works Department, the administrative assistant will become full-time. The municipal courts will also have 2 full-time municipal clerks. One of them was part-time, so they're becoming full-time. And the bailiff is now part of the municipal courts. If you see, it's right under, but it's actually attached to the police department, just to make sure that he complies with all of his certifications. And we did move the maintenance technicians, custodians, and under the city manager. So if you can see that up there, we have the reception executive assistant, the maintenance technician, and the custodians. The code enforcers are directly to the city planner, and then the city planner, everyone's below the city planner.
Mr. Perez?
It's missing a line.
Elena, or Ms. Rodarte, I'm sorry. The HR director and city clerk's office, do they have, or do they share any clerical staff to expedite the work?
So the city manager, the HR department, and the city clerk share the same executive assistant.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
No, go right ahead.
Ms. Rodarte, can you clarify the health that's on the left-hand side? Is that something for future, or is that something that's the current position that is not clear about what it is, where it says health? Thanks.
So the health department is what we just approved at our last meeting for the health and environmental. It's always shown in the budget as a separate department, but it was never reflected in the organizational chart. So that's just something that we added. We also added the elite ambulance into that chart.
Mr. Rodriguez?
The only thing I have to say is, when you change it, could we have the old one, so we can compare the old with the new one? That's all. Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 13, public hearing of an ordinance for the proposed rezoning of tracts 11B1, 11B2, and 11B3, Robert E. Nick Survey 302, apps 10-170, located at 16143, 16133, 16106 Gateway Boulevard, west from unclassified and C2 general commercial for a commercial venture. 6:14, public hearing is now open. 6:15, public hearing is now closed. Item number 14, second reading and adoption of an ordinance for the proposed rezoning of tracts 11B1, 11B2, and 11B3, Robert E. Nick Survey 302, apps 10170, located at 16143, 16133, 16106 Gateway Boulevard West, from unclassified and C2 general commercial for a commercial venture.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Second.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This application, they're asking for a zoning change on a property that is located in an area that was annexed to Socorro in 2008. Most of the properties that are north of the I-10 don't have a zoning classification. So they're asking for C2 so they can use the property for a trucking business. This property is located real close to the Clint exit on I-10. This is the exit right here on the city limit, and this is the property they're asking to use for commercial, for a trucking company.
Is it I'm sorry, excuse me.
Ms. Alvarez?
Is it an existing trucking company, or is it gonna be new?
It's gonna be a new business. Right now, the land is vacant.
And they're under our city limits, or,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Mr. Perez?
And only for, out of curiosity, the bottom portion where you see all the, I guess, trailers and vehicles, is that a legal non-conforming? Or, I mean, I know that, I just have a question about that section.
You mean this area
Yes.
here? That area was rezoned to C2, general commercial. And they established a business that got out of control.
Since when?
Since we don't have the date. That was about 3 or 4 years ago, more or less.
Ms. Smith?
Ms. Alvarez?
I'm sorry, what kind of business is it right now?
That is it should have been a trucking storage, but they store like the back of the trucks. It's not a,
Like the trailers?
Yeah,
yes,
but
semi-trailers, yes. Thank you.
yeah, and they're turning it into a salvage yard.
I just,
Mr.
I
Perez?
just wanted to find out if we were consistent with the zoning. But it seems like that's sprouted into something that we may not want. Anyway, that's another topic.
I have
So according to the applicant, they are not related to any of these businesses down here. Their plan is to put something more decent looking. They know what the vision of the city is, and they know that this is not what you want to see there. That's the reason why we recommended that you approve this commercial use here because of the location along I-10. That's a very good place to have commercial businesses. And according to them, they have no relation to any of these. This is not what they intend to do.
Mr. Arte?
And I just want to add that the M1, M2, the industrial, they can't do it at junkyard. Those have been ratified. So it's just for commercial. So there's several just commercial businesses that they can have. It can't turn into because at this point, we're no longer approving those type of businesses in the city. So it's more like selling trailers. I mean, I don't know exactly what they're going to do. And from the looks of it, it seems like they're going to sell. It's going to be like a car lot for semi-trucks. But it can't become a mechanic shop because for that, they would have to come back for a conditional use permit. For any other type of use of so right now it's only commercial, that's all we're approving. If they want to become a mechanic shop or something else, they would have to come back and request a conditional permit.
According to a conversation we had with the applicant, they don't have any intention to do any mechanic work. That's why when they were applying for for the rezoning, we asked them if they wanna do mechanic work, that way they can apply for the conditional use permit at the same time. And that's not their intention is just to store new trucks that they're gonna be using for their business.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Jim, in the past, we've given C2s and stuff like that and given them their zoning change. But if we allow it on these and then they go back and then they do what the neighbors are doing, because it is a salvage yard now, and they try to cover it up by putting trucks in the front. Okay, and I have an issue with that because we no longer accept, salvage yards here. So, especially because it's frontage of I-10. And I've been saying here all along, and I guess all of us echo the same thing, is that when are we gonna start, beautifying our city if we're still allowing these kinds of businesses, especially in I-10, because you pass through our city and that's what you see. So we wanna change the mentality for all these people of what Socorro is and is going to be in the future. But if we don't do it now, then that's where the issue that I have. So my issue is, could we put a conditional on the C2, or like always, they have a C2 and they have a blanket to do what they want to do?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's requesting any kind of conditional use now. I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, as it stands right now, that's contemplated as a commercial area. If you change it to C2, all the permitted uses under C2 can take place there.
Which are up here.
But you still can't do, you can't do storage area.
Okay. No, I just want it out there so that people are aware that when you're applying for a C2, that is what you have to obey. Because I don't mind going out there and closing you down, because it's getting to that point where we're gonna have to be very strict on this. And I just wanted people to be aware that, you know what, we're gonna be hard on this. And that's it.
Ms. Villalobos?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, when I heard there was another trucking company, I said, oh, here we go again. But what I was thinking, it's not coming in through the city of Socorro. It's actually on the freeway, so I thought, okay, and it's commercial, yes, okay, fine. But you're absolutely right. When do we stop allowing more of these companies to come into Socorro? Is there anything that we can do with an ordinance for the future to say no more, we've had enough?
So right now, this is the usage under the C2s that you can have. You can change the ordinance of the C2, but this is what we want in our city is movie theaters, we want retail goods and services.
And this one falls under that?
Yes.
So on the uses that you see,
So it's not a salvage yard, those are not allowed anymore. Like we can't become junkyards, we can't, because we've already ratified that. Socorro will no longer operate or approve any type of business under that.
Yeah, I was gonna say legally, I think there's still uses out there that we can't control, but legally, I think you cauterize it. You make changes to your zoning ordinance that I think prohibits new uses of the kind you're talking about.
Which is the M1 and the M2, they're no longer allowed.
Mr. Perez?
But if I heard correctly, that neighboring business is a C2. So is it a grandfather? Is it grandfathered, or are we gonna, now that we know what we know,
No, because there's nothing that exists there. If it was a junkyard,
but the neighboring business?
the name of the business.
Below.
Well, no, but the neighbor? No, but the neighbor is a different property.
Yeah.
Talking
So,
about
no,
these
I just wanted to say that, but that's it.
In order to be consistent, with including this property, that way we get
Yes.
the idea that we are consistent with the enforcement efforts, that if a business, even though it's in a, empty lot, that it doesn't progress to any kind of undesirable business, such as the one that we just saw.
Next to it,
next
of
to it.
course, and that's where code enforcement and the planning and zoning department would be in charge of.
So,
So making sure that,
so from my end, I would love to see the follow through on seeing and making sure that those businesses don't turn into that.
Mayor, we have two speakers. Miriam Cruz.
got my question answered by Mr. Terrazas before the meeting. Thanks.
Eva Rojas?
Yes, I guess I can answer a lot of your questions. And due to the neighbor, you were expressing that due to the neighbor having a junkyard, right? Our intentions, we actually do have a running transportation business. It's called Luga Transportation and Traga Transport, and we're actually leasing a 2-acre lot for $4,000 a month right now, okay? So that's where we're planning to move our transportation business. He has maybe about 15 to 20 2009 models, and that's the ones he wants to sell, you know, condition them and sell them because he needs to bring in newer models. So it's gonna be like a transportation, and he's selling his own trucks.
Okay.
And I mean, this might also help. He's gotten offers by Sky Transportation, I think you guys are familiar with Sky Transportation, to buy the actual 31 acres. So if they come into an agreement, maybe we won't even move into that commercial property, but we want to go ahead and already have it set up as a commercial property. So, okay, thank you.
Subdivide it, keep your 2 acres, and give it to the rest.
Rene Rodriguez?
Aye.
Cesar Nevares?
Yes.
Ralph Duran?
Yes.
Victor Perez?
Aye.
Ivan Colombia Lopez?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion.
Second.
For
Yes.
the item on the agenda.
Rene Rodriguez?
Aye.
Cesar Nevares?
Yes.
Ralph Duran?
Yes.
Victor Perez?
Aye.
And Ivan Colombia Lopez?
Yes.
6:27, we are now in executive session.